Alright, let's jump right into it. I'll go first because mine's slow. A bit of a... It's only an update to a deck you've all already seen.
Yeah.
You see, this is my old Arthur deck that I abandoned Arthur for because Arthur's garbage and doesn't interact! And so I went for Loki because I thought I still want to be pure blue and hold the maintenance. Though I'm leaning more towards just jumping on the Hanzo wagon.
Hanzo Machines, baby.
I hate that a different colored ruler is machine ruler. But anyway, I'm running Loki. Front side, she does nothing. Judgments for 3, reduces awakenings for 2 by 2. Easy. Her Master Rune is Consume. But you got the standard Guinevere, Vivian, Lancelots. I reduced the Mechanized Knights because I ended up hating seeing them in certain opening hands. Put a couple of Sky Round Musketeers just so I could drop on curve, just in case I didn't have a Sky Round. Upped the Merlin count because Merlin is a boss.
Especially in Loki.
Yeah, I took out all the Skynets because Skynet sucks. You either have a massive board state and your opponent is withering before it, or you have no board state and Skynet doesn't do any damage. Those are the two situations I realized I was always in. But Skybeat's still a thing, Camelot, Mordred. If you haven't seen, the deck generally goes, you play Vivienne first, and then you attempt to build counters using Guinevere, who puts 2 on, Lancelot, who puts 1 on, and she gains them as they go. But the sum up for the changes, I had a Drifting Little Moon just for a little extra control. I don't know if this is the deck that I really was thinking about, but I was mainly thinking I can pop ramp guys, and I can reasonably damage certain other cards, or like just mainly pop their 1-drops. Though that's immediately getting ejected from this deck at high velocity because every time I had it in my hand, I didn't want to play it, and that spells doom for a card. Then Skyfalls, I upped the number from 3 to 4 because I thought, hey, they were kind of useful a couple times, but now I'm going to remove them entirely because you either have a machine and I can see the swinging for game and then getting rid of their blocker, but everything in this game has an enter ability. Anything that you want to hit with it has an enter ability, I should say. And even if you, even if you're able to deal with it for the temporary time, it doesn't matter because they're going to get that enter trigger again.
Yeah, Enforce the Will, like, you run a lot of Resonators because Resonators have really good effects on them, so you might as well just get a body with your cool spell.
Like, because I was thinking about it, and even against, like, green, what am I bouncing? Am I either bouncing a Pygmy Hippo, Mike, or 7 Disciples, or Lorite? I don't want to bounce any of that.
Yeah.
But then the major change was the side deck. I removed the card that I thought would be a sleeper, the Sand Awakening?
Yeah. Or you mean the Rune deck?
The Rune deck, yeah. Just because Sand Awakening wasn't doing exactly what I wanted to in this deck. I still think it's a really good card, but machines are big enough on their own.
Yeah.
Any boost I could give them would be negligible, comparatively. But I added a mystery box, which is going to be in all of my pure blue decks going forward, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's basically a microwave instant board state.
Yeah.
Look at it. You reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Put all non-chant cards from among them into the field, with the rest in the graveyard. And if it was awakened, you can't chase to it. You awaken it by discarding your hand. So,
Cost 7, that's the only downside.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
But I've noticed a lot of New Frontiers games go at least that long.
Yeah, they go pretty long.
At least when we're playing. I don't know if we're like super slow players or something, but
We're special.
Then there's Consume, which is the main reason I chose Loki because I really like it. It's 3 will, Divinity 2, her Master Rune. Quick cast, remove target Resonator from the game, you gain life equal to its defense. The quick cast is what really seals it for me. I would not pay 3 for that effect, I don't think, if it did not have quick cast.
Yeah.
And the life gain is super relevant in some scenarios. But in some situations. I also added the Ruins Submerged Beneath the Misty Spring, my biggest disappointment. I thought this was going to be useful, but everything is a freaking chant. I mean, a rune. Basically, that's the kind of deck that I wanted to go against. Things that play a bunch of chants to blow up my stuff. But
it has a lot of not chants.
They're all either not chants, or they're wide sweeping spells, or they're resonators. And that's going to be the case regardless of what I'm going against. So, woo. Admittedly, Brunhild, it might see some good, but again, I'd rather have a machine in its place. So you guys might actually get to see a third iteration where it's just absolutely no non-machines and all machines.
All right.
Stone deck remained the same. I thought about putting IU Stone in just to be cheeky, but I like the art.
All right. Anything else? All right.
I'm disappointed with this new version.
All right. So this is my deck. It is a Isis deck. Isis, on her front side, she has a Judgment of 4, which is pretty expensive, and then Energize for red. But she has one of the best J-Ruler sides. I didn't flip her in this game because I had to keep the gameplay for these decks, because I had to keep nuking his board, and so
yeah.
I never got a chance to really flip
Turns
her.
out if my board is wiped every turn, I can't attack.
Yeah.
Who knew?
But anyway, she has red. This card deals 200 damage to target J/Resonator. Red, this card gains precision until end of turn. Red, this card gains barrier until end of turn. She also has first strike naturally, and she's a 14/8. So, pretty good card. I just wish she had swiftness.
Yep. She's a red ruler without swiftness. Good.
Alright, so let's get into what the deck's actually trying to do here. It's basically nothing but board wipe. So you got board wipe, board wipe, board wipe, board wipe, potential board wipe helper, and a board wipe. So we'll just go over them one at a time. So I'll go over Surtur first, and then the Sand Resonators go with them.
Yep.
So Surtur, he's a 5-cost, 15/15, and he says, whenever this card is dealt damage, you may search your deck for a Sand Resonator, total cost 3 or less, and put it into the field. Then shuffle your deck. And then he has Rune red, which means for if you have 3 red runes revealed, he gets a second enter ability. This card deals 800 damage to each Resonator. So that includes himself, so he triggers his own ability. And then, so you get to search for Sand Resonators. What do you get to choose from? You can either get a Sand Soldier, a Sand Dragon, or a Searing Wall of Sand. We'll go over Sand Soldier first. He's a 2-cost, 8/6 with, at end of battle, if this card attacked or blocked, destroy it. And then he has Rune 3, which means if you have 3 or more runes revealed, he gets this ability. This card gains +4/+4. So he becomes a 12/10 if you have 3 or more runes, which is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Then I run 3 Sand Dragon. He's on his card it says he's just a dragon, but they errated it, so he's also a Sand Resonator, so he counts for Surtur.
Yes.
And he's a 3-cost 10/10 flying dragon. Whenever this card is dealt damage, destroy it. When a J-Ruler or a rune you control deals damage to your opponent, put this card from your graveyard into your hand. We might have missed some of those triggers in the gameplay video.
Probably.
I didn't realize it counted runes too. I just read J-Ruler.
It's your deck!
Hey man, I built it like a couple days ago and only played it once before this.
I love it.
Then I run 2 Searing Wall of Sand. I'm probably going to cut this and put another Sand Soldier and another Sand Dragon. It's just a 3-cost, 0/15 wall. It doesn't do anything. It has a red ability where you can pay red and it gets +2 attack until end of turn.
Yeah.
So he's not very good. The thought process when I put it in here was like, oh, I'll just have a big blocker really easy off of Surtur that they have to get around, but it's kind of bad, so I'll cut that and probably just put more of these guys. Alright, so we already went to Surtur. We'll go over Set. I'm going to cut him, but he's in here now. He's a 4-cost, 12/10 swiftness first strike. That's it.
Yep.
I never wanted to play him. The thought process when I put him in is like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to just have like 12 damage whenever they don't have a blocker, but never came up, so he's gone. I run 4 Anubis. She's another board wipe. She's a what is this? 5, 6, 7, 8. She's 8-cost, 15/15. But you may pay 1 less for 1 void less for each fire rune revealed. So if you get 3 fire runes, which is pretty easy in this deck, get them revealed, you can pay her for 5. And then it says if a card would put into your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, remove it from the game instead. So that's pretty nice. And then she has an enter ability. This card deals 1,500 damage divided as you choose to any number of target resonators. So that's pretty good. It's a potential board wipe, or you can use it to kill really big pesky things that your board wipes can't touch.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into the chant-based board wipes. So this is the only really good one in New Frontiers, which is Eruption. This card deals 800 damage to each J/Resonator. Pretty good. Just nukes the board.
3-will.
800 damage board wipe. Pretty decent. Then I run 4 Scalding Breath. You pay 2 more, plays card from Rune Area. It's a 2-cost chant, and it deals 700 damage to target player or J/Resonator. I'm thinking of cutting this out and then replacing it with Fictitious Fire, because I'm willing to sacrifice that 100 extra damage to have Quick Cast.
Yeah.
So
Fictitious costs the same, 6 damage and Quick Cast, right?
it also has a null ability. It makes it do 800 damage if you have no hand.
Oh my god.
Which is probably never going to be relevant, but I'm thinking of upping this card because it's pretty good. Yeah. Ruins Beneath the Sands. It's a 2-cost addition. At the end of your turn, this card deals 200 damage to target opponent or Resonator. If there are 4 or more runes revealed from your rune area, this card deals 400 damage instead.
It's a lot of damage.
So basically, if you have like 2 of these sitting down, you're just pinging them for 4, killing the Resonators. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with this card.
It hurts.
Run a 1 of Magic Impact. It's a 4-cost. This card deals 11 damage to your opponent. So use it to close out a game in a pinch if you need to. That's the only reason it's in here, and that's why it's a 1 of.
Yep, has nothing to do with the art.
Yeah. I had a full art one, so I used it. Alright, then I run 4 Reunion between Master and Pupil, and the reason I run 4 is because it's the best draw spell Red has currently. It's a 2-cost chant. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 1 fire chant, up to 1 fire resonator from among them, and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So you're pretty much, in a deck like this, pretty much always going to get 2 things off it. So it's basically a 2-cost draw 2 in red, which is decent. Considering this deck is not an aggro deck, or not even really a burn deck, it's more of a control deck, something like that's pretty useful.
Yeah.
Refill your hand. I'll go over this first. I run 1 of Burial Rites. Probably going to cut this, but the only reason it's in here in case I go against Brunhild, so I can mess with her graveyard if I have to, and I want to have at least 1 in the deck. I have 2 more in the sideboard for this.
Yeah.
But I might just put them all sideboard.
Yeah.
But I should go over what it does. It's a 1-cost red, quick cast chant. Remove all Resonators in your opponent's graveyard from the game. If 5 or more cards are removed this way, search your deck for a card named Anubis, Administrator of the Hounds, reveal it and put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck.
Yeah.
So I don't care about finding Anubis, I just care about getting rid of all of Brunhild's Resonators in her graveyard.
That's what it's for.
Alright, then we go to the spicy tech. We have Hoel's Martial Arts Tournament.
Sleeper strong.
Yeah, it's a 1-cost red chant, and it has a lot of text on it, so we'll go over this. Target a Resonator you control. Your opponent reveals cards from the top of their deck until they reveal a Resonator. Destroy that target if its attack is less than the revealed Resonator's attack. Otherwise, search your deck for a card named Hero's Bracelet and put into the field bestowed to that target. Shuffle your deck. Your opponent shuffles all cards revealed this way into their deck. So, basically what it does, and it's good in this deck because all my things are like 15/15s, is any of these guys are good too.
Yeah.
You play this on one of your guys, and then they reveal cards from the top of their deck until they hit a Resonator. If they reveal a Resonator that has less attack than your guy, you get to search your deck for a Hero's Bracelet, and then attach it to it immediately. Hero's Bracelet says, bestowed Resonator gains +4/+4, swiftness, barrier, and precision. Really good. So it turns your 15/15s into 19/19s with swiftness, barrier, and precision.
It's evil. It's bull.
Turns this guy into a 14/14
that
flyer.
card's supposed to be useless.
Yeah. I thought it was super bad when I first saw it, but when you think about it, it's actually pretty easy to get to fire off, especially since the best cancel spell in the game is Favor spell and only hits quick cast, and this isn't. So
yeah, and we had some discussion about it actually in the gameplay video about how the curve actually really works with it.
Yeah,
because they're not actually going, even if they have things with stats on curve, which machines are notoriously bad at, because +1/+1 counters. But even a green deck, whatever else you're playing, they're not going to have a lot of super strong Resonator. They're not going to have the 4 cost and the 5 cost in abundance. So you're most likely going to hit a 1 or 2 cost.
Yep.
And at that point...
Yeah. But mostly I've seen this card used in Keurig decks because you put on a Piale on turn 2
Yeah.
And then she's like a 9/9, and it's really hard for your opponent to have something stronger in that. But I figured it works pretty good in this deck too, because it's 15/15s.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go over the rune deck real quick. I run Explosion. It's a 1-cost red, quick cast. This card deals 700 damage to target attacking or blocking Resonator. Really good for clearing out attackers or blockers, especially if you combine it with something like Poison Stinger. You can see that in the gameplay video. This is a quick cast 1-cost red spell. This card deals 200 damage to target Resonator. If that Resonator would be dealt damage this turn, it's dealt double that much instead. So your explosions all of a sudden are doing 14/14 now, plus the 200 from Poison Stinger. So,
oh my god,
it's pretty good.
It hurts me in my happy places.
All right, then I run 1 Sandstorm. It costs 1 red, but it's technically free in the rune deck because you pay 1 red less to play it. It deals 200 damage to each Resonator your opponent controls. Pretty good, especially against like decks with lots of really weak 1-drops. Yeah, I think I killed your Guinevere's with it.
Yeah, because I had no tokens.
Yeah. Then I run a Giant Sandstorm. It's a 4-cost, 800 damage to each Resonator your opponent controls rune. Pretty good. It's basically another board wipe.
Yes.
And then last but not least, Isis's Master Rune, the one that has all the memes about it.
Yep.
Whirlwind Conflagration. It's a 5-cost Master Rune. You can only play it if you have Isis. Target up to 6 players and or J/Resonators. This card deals 200 damage to the first, 400 damage to the second, 600 damage to the third, 800 damage to the fourth, 1000 damage to the fifth, and 1200 to the sixth. And no, you cannot target your opponent 6 times.
Yes, you can. Don't believe his lies.
Yeah.
You can target your opponent 6 times.
Yeah. Anyway, it's another board wipe. That's why it's in here.
Yep.
It's not really the most
It's better than Fushi's.
It's better than Fushi's. Alright, so for the stone deck, 2 basic stones, 4 magic stone of dueling. This is good with Isis if you flip her because it has produce red or produce 2 red, spin this wheel only to play abilities of J rulers you control, or activate abilities of J rulers you control. All of her abilities are activate abilities.
Oh, and because recently it actually came up, I feel the need to stress that you cannot use that second ability to do Judgment.
Yeah.
Judgment is not an activate ability.
Yeah, especially since it wouldn't work anyway, even if it was, because it only targets J rulers, not rulers.
Yeah. But it came up recently, so I felt the need to put that out there.
Alright, then we run 4 Magic Stone of the Hermit. It produces red, or you can rest it, banish this card, target dragon gains swiftness in a turn. The only reason this is in here is because Sand Dragon's in here, and I might need to give him swiftness at some point.
Yep. Rather have it, not need it, than need it and not have it.
Yeah.
For those spicy times when you're like, I got 4 stones up, I got a Sand Dragon in hand, they're at 500 and don't have any flyers. Let's do this.
Yep. Alright, so those were the decks. If you haven't checked out the... minus 40. If you haven't checked out the gameplay video, it's on our channel, and you can find that... give it a watch if you're curious. If you like what we do here, consider donating some coffee. If you want to see more of our content, consider subscribing. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. As a cook, I massively appreciate coffee to keep myself sustained and lifeful.